This video is part of the Tacoma Community College Library's How Do I Technology series. In this one, I'll cover starting the process of creating a PowerPoint presentation. I'll show you how to choose and change templates and how to add title and body slides to your presentation. Firstly, when you open PowerPoint, you should see a screen that looks something like this. You can choose your PowerPoint template, which is basically a color scheme that makes your whole presentation appear uniform. Or you can select to have no template by clicking on Blank Presentation here. Note that the little images of what each template will look like generally only show what the title slide will look like. The body slides might appear a little different, though they tend to use the same overall colors. Therefore, you may want to set up your title slide and your first body slide first, and then see what each will look like under several different templates. That's why I often begin by selecting blank presentation first. Then I decide on my template later. Here's how to do that. To open a blank presentation, double-click on it. Now, you should see your title slide. In the box that says click to add title, you click once and then you can begin typing. Your title should be short and sweet. Make it an overview of what your presentation is about. I'm going to pretend that I'm giving a presentation about what cats are, so I'll title my presentation, What Are Cats? In the next box, you can put a subtitle, which is basically a short extension of the title, but often I use this box to add my name and maybe my class and date. Now that I have a basic title slide, I'll worry about formatting the text later. First, I want to get my first body slide on here so that I can try out a few different templates to see what my presentation will look like. So to add the first body slide, make sure you're on the Home tab up here at the top. Just beneath the Home tab is a button that says New Slide, or it could say Add Slide depending on the version of PowerPoint you have. I usually just click on the top section of this button here and it adds a body slide automatically. But if you want a little more control over what your next slide will look like, click on the bottom section like this and a drop down appears. Here you can choose to add another title slide or a couple of variations of the title slide like these. Or you can add a body slide and a few different variations of what that might look like here. You can also enter a completely blank slide if you want. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to just add the default body slide, so I'm going to click on the top portion of this new slide button instead. Now you can see what the default body slide looks like. There's usually a title, and there's usually a large body box. You can add a lot of different things in this body box, which I'll get into in later video tutorials. For now, I'm going to just add a little bit of basic text to my title and body. I'll start my presentation by defining cat. Now, it's important in any presentation, especially if it's for school, that you still cite anything that you take from somewhere else. That includes images too. Therefore, here I'm going to hit enter to go down to the next line, and I'm going to type source Google Dictionary because that's where I got the definition in quotation marks from. So now I have a title and a body slide. They don't look very attractive yet because I haven't chosen a template for formatting anything. But now that I have these, I can start looking for templates. To do this, go to the Design tab up here at the top. And now you should see a few different snapshots of what your template could look like. Notice that if I scroll over a template, it'll give me a preview of what the current slide I'm on will look like under that template. Now these aren't your only options. If you look to the right side of this first box here, you'll see a small up arrow and down arrow. If you click on the down arrow, you can toggle through all the different templates that PowerPoint offers. You have a lot of options to choose from. The best way to choose a template is to just try out a few different ones until you're satisfied with the color scheme and the general layout. First, I'll go ahead and try this one. Now, as you can see, my title slide looks just like the template image above, but my body slide doesn't have that same design layout. It does, however, have similar colors and fonts when it comes to the text on each slide. You can see that my title and subtitle fonts here are pretty similar to the fonts on my body slide here. This is what I mean by a uniform design all the way through the presentation. Just this little bit of uniformity makes your presentation look a little more professional. I'm going to go ahead and select this template. You can see that everything changed, and sometimes even the layout of the text on the page changes. This is something to keep in mind in choosing a template. You can always customize the layout, the font, the colors, and the size of text later, but for now it's good to go with something that you generally like. I found a template that I like, so I'll stick with this one. That's it for now. Remember, you should save your PowerPoint presentation as early as possible to avoid losing your work, and save it often every time you make changes. To save, click on this floppy disk icon in the top left corner here. Then follow the prompts on the screen to name your file and to put it in the right place. That covers beginning your PowerPoint. Again, view our other How Do I Technology series videos to finish the process of creating a PowerPoint presentation. And to gain other important technology-related skills that you will use at TCC, we have other playlists of videos such as formatting an academic paper in Microsoft Word. As always, if you ever get stuck, just come by the TCC Library's reference desk. Our reference specialist is here to help you with all of your technology-related needs.